Hello.
Everyone desiring a full-time RV life is drawn to it because of travel. Well, the truth is most full-timers don't travel every day. We're going to share some reasons why.
So let's get started. Are you ready to dive into discovering how to know? Well, I totally messed that up, people. We are going to discover how not traveling every day fits into a life of freedom and travel. Well, we're going to share that with you today. Well, maybe. There we go.
The RV life. We're surrounded with the message that it's a life you have to wait until retirement to have, and a life that only some can afford. And while it might be reality for those who want to believe that's true, we're on a mission to change that mindset and help people to stop wondering and start wandering to create a life they love.
Join us in conversations about how to design your RV life. We're Bryan Luann Street, and this is the RV Living Show.
Yes, welcome to the RV Living Show. Now that I messed up the whole intro today, but you know what? It's not about perfection, is it? It's about getting you guys the information that you need and want for your full-time RV life. So we just want to welcome you to this RV Living Show today. We're going to be diving into some reasons why we don't travel every day. And we also want to welcome those who are watching on the replay. We appreciate it when people come back and watch the shows again when they can't join us live. So this week's show is why we don't travel every day. We're going to dive into some misconceptions about full-time RV travel and our reasons why we don't travel every day.
There are some reasons.
So what's the first reason, Bryan?
Well, the first reason is traveling. Traveling is tired. RV travel, it is tiring because you've got to think of all that you're doing every day. You have to get up on a travel day, you have to put everything away, pack everything down, and that takes a lot of time. Then once you're ready to hit the road, a lot of times you spend an hour to get everything ready. Then you make your trip, which driving an RV is more difficult, obviously.
Yep.
When you get there, it just seems like, even though it might have been a short trip that day, it seems like you spent all day doing it.
Yeah, it totally knocks you out of your daily routine, though, too. I mean, when you're traveling, your travel day is out of your norm because just like in your stationary life, you have days where even if your norm is sightseeing or relaxing at your RV site or doing, going grocery shopping or whatever you do as a full-timer, those travel days, you're not doing the things that are routine. You might not even get up and have the same morning experience that you're used to doing, like spending time praying or meditating or reading or drinking multiple cups of coffee. Maybe you just have one and you hop on the road because your next destination is so far away, right? So that whole out of routine thing also makes it very tiring to travel every day. So that is one of the reasons that we don't travel every day, right? So
we take a vacation, you get in your car and going somewhere, a few hours away. It would seem like a task just to do that.
Yes, right. It's like the one thing that you do on that day is the travel. So having multiple travel days over a period of time can really wear you out. And we personally know full-timers who started out traveling and, we got into that a little bit because you're like, oh, I'm free and I can run run from here and there and I want to see this and I want to see that. But then you just need to kind of get your groove of slowing down and enjoying the process and knowing that you don't have to do it.
That's right. Once you develop your own pace, how fast you like to travel, and you settle into that, it's going to be so much nicer.
That is true. It is true. You just kind of we call it your groove.
Get your groove.
So the next reason that we don't travel every day is,
obviously travel day every day is not budget friendly.
It's not. It just isn't. With the average cost of a campground being $45 a night, you multiply that times 30 and you've got a pretty big campground budget. So what we've discovered is that staying longer has really helped us with our RV budget. And that is another reason why we don't travel every day.
Yeah, spend money on other things besides campground fees.
That's right. And how it helps you by staying longer is it usually, like if you stay a week, it'll give you maybe a day that's almost free. Or if you stay a month, it's a week that you usually, and maybe even two. I think there's been a couple campgrounds where things have been really cheap on a monthly rate. We honestly don't like to stay a month. It seems like our sweet spot is around 20 days, 21 days, 3 weeks, but we work. So we're working. So I still work for the doctor's office that I work for. We work on all the content for you guys every week. And, so when we're working, we like to save or stay longer so that we can actually do the next reason that we don't travel every day. But also we want to talk about limiting mileage, right? Because that's also budget friendly. By
The mileage in an RV, when you're pulling or driving a motorhome, obviously the more you drive it, it's going to increase your expenses greatly. We love the fact that we can drive our motorhome somewhere and we can park it at a destination. We jump in our car and we can explore, hours to here and there all over. And it's so much easier on our budget. Plus, driving the car is a lot more fun than driving the RV.
Yeah, and so to that point, those of you who have a fifth wheel in a truck, yes, your truck, it's still the same gas mileage for you. I mean, you may get a few less because you're towing something bigger and maybe your gas mileage improves with your truck when you're not pulling. But the other thing is the attention that it takes to being, back to the whole that it's tiring.
Right.
The attention of driving or pulling an RV is much greater when you're doing that than it is just driving your regular car. I mean, of course, you don't zone out and it's, you're still paying attention, but it's different.
Yeah, it does. It's a lot more, you pay a lot more attention. It kind of has effect on you after a few hours. You kind of need to get out of the driver's seat. At least I do, for sure.
Yeah, and for us that traveling down secondary roads and things when we're driving our motorhome, or for those of you pulling your trailers, it's just harder because you're just bigger and you're paying more attention. You can't really sightsee. So there's
no sightseeing on those days.
You're right. Okay, so we're going to get into our third reason in just a few minutes, or actually 30 seconds, but we're going to take a sponsored break and then we're going to offer you something that you will enjoy getting.
This episode of the RV Living Show is brought to you by the Complete RV Travel Planner, the only travel planner made specifically for the RV lifestyle. Get yours today at rvtravelplanner.com.
Okay, so in a concordance, no, that's not the right word, but anyway, about the travel planner. Okay, so we actually have a campground reservation log that you can get for free if you don't have a travel planner yet, and you just kind of want to see what our travel planner is sort of like. It's really not. This is more the cornerstone of it. But the campground reservation log is something we developed when we first started full-timing because we just couldn't believe how many things we forgot to ask the campground or what we needed to the information we needed to gather. And so from that campground reservation log then grew the travel planner. And so if you would like to get a copy of our campground reservation log, you can do that at this URL, streetswander.com/campground-reservation-log. And you can sign up and you'll be subscribed to our newsletter every week, but you'll also get the free color PDF of the campground reservation log that is also in our travel planner. And that's a great way to, kind of see what things are all about. Okay, so our last reason is
Enjoy destination discovery.
Yeah.
This is the number one reason for me because I remember when we first started RVing, like you said, we were obviously moving at a faster pace. I seemed to we'd leave places that I didn't feel like I had a chance to even see some of the things I wanted to see because we were just trying to get to that next destination, just trying to maybe knock the miles off or put another pin on the map. But when we realized it's not about the race. We slowed down and we started spending some time in these places that and enjoying the people, enjoying the neighborhoods, the culture, and exploring. My whole attitude about travel changed. I really enjoy going places and just, we obviously won't stay there that long, but stay there at least a week, maybe two, and just take your time and enjoy the area.
Yeah, and it's really cool to immerse yourself locally. Where we are right now in Eustis, Florida, there is this really great farmers market. It's like a flea market, farmers market that happens on Thursday mornings. And we've been able to go over there and get fresh fruit and fresh vegetables and, get something locally that if we had just been here for a night or two, we wouldn't have found that because it only happens on Thursday. The other thing is that we've discovered here, and this isn't something you're going to pull up on, TripAdvisor to find out how great doing this is. But there's this whole lake walk, they call it. Eustis is on this beautiful lake, and there is this great big area where they've built this. I want to call it a pier, but it's not really a pier because it runs along the lake. But you walk out on it, and the sunsets are amazing. And we wouldn't have known that either if we hadn't stayed. I think we've been here. We're going on 2 weeks now, and able to just really kind of go down there. And now we've done that a couple times, and it's just so peaceful to go back to and do something again that you enjoyed and know that you can do it.
Another thing to talk about, but we found a nice little restaurant down there
we did.
We love. And if we had just been here a night or two, we would have never taken the time to stop.
No, and we've been back twice for key lime pie.
That's awesome. Yeah. So there is some advantages to staying just a little bit longer and just kind of immersing yourself in what's there.
Oh, that's for sure. That's for sure. All right. So let's just review for a minute the 3 points that we talked about today. Travel days are tiring. We talked about how that is so true. I mean, I know that you can, even if you're not a full-timer yet, or you're just, RVing part-time or just on the weekends, you still know that going and setting up that campground, traveling there, setting up, tearing down, and even for weekend campers, I mean, we can think back to when we did that. It was hard because Sunday morning you couldn't enjoy anything because you had to break it all down and you had to get back on the road and get home. And so that is definitely the first reason that we don't travel every day. The second one is traveling every day is expensive, or as we said, it's not budget friendly.
It's not budget friendly. No, it's not.
So, depending on whether you're full-timing or whether you're doing this as a vacation, vacation's one thing because you've got that budget for your vacation, but, having that in your full-time life and trying to ease some of those travel expenses down, not traveling every day is a great way to do that. And then the last one was the whole learning about your destination, exploring all the cool things. We found this cool little road trip that we did. And ended up and saw some really pretty things that we wouldn't have done otherwise if we hadn't immersed ourselves locally. So
there are some great advantages to that.
There are. All right. So next week, we're going to be talking about what makes a great RV co-pilot. So you can be thinking about that for next week. And we're going to dive here into the comments and see who's with us live. All right. Okay, Joanne. Let me go up here to the top. Freddie says hi from Stanford. Yay, Freddie. Somebody else said howdy. Tina says hello. Joanne says good morning. Still searching for our new RV. Can't wait to get out there and start our new RV life. I know, that's really exciting. Joanne says she just loves our videos, such practical information. Well, good. I'm glad. I'm glad it's helpful because sometimes you just don't think about, those things as you're going through your life and, trying to, maintain your RV life, just really having that ability to slow down and enjoy things.
It is. You got to slow down. That's why you get RV life, you want to travel, but really it's more about the destination and getting to that destination and enjoying it.
Yes. It is. And The travel gets you
The
there.
travel gets you there.
And of course that's the point, right? But the travel isn't the focus.
Yeah.
What is the name of the restaurant with the key lime pie? Okay, it's called El Marie, and it's almost on the water. You can watch the sunset from their deck. It's really, really, really nice, and the key lime pie is amazing. So it's one of the best ones we've had. Oh, awesome. Sandy, thanks for asking that one. Okay. All right, guys. So we hope you join us next week on the RV Living Show, where we're going to be talking about being an RV co-pilot and all the things that makes a good one. And Brian's probably going to tell you all the things about.
I could suggest a few things.
He can suggest some stuff. So be sure to join us then. Oh, thank you guys for being with us, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you for joining us for the RV Living Show. We hope this episode helps you in creating an RV life you love.
Until next time, we encourage you to stop wondering and start wandering.